Yo, Bill, where you at, Bill?
Role model of the century. Hey, kids, who do you want to be like? They're all, Ryan Garcia is worth $100 million. And you're all, yeah, what else you like about him? He's like, listen, I know that he got drunk every single night during training camp and didn't train very hard. He missed weight by 3.2 pounds. He was online doing crazy stuff all the way up to the fight, and he won anyway. And you know what he did after he won the biggest fight of his life after not training? He got high on camera and taunted the father of his vanquished opponent. That dude is the man. Now, the talk of the town is going to be about Ryan Garcia today, but we are going to look at the true culprit that led to the outcome of last night's fight. It's not Ryan Garcia. It's not Devin Haney. It's Logan Paul. And I'll tell you why. Because Devin Haney was the newest prime athlete, okay? And I want you to think about all of the guys that you know are prime athletes, okay? Who has worn the prime chain on their way into an octagon or a ring? Israel Adesanya, Volkanovski, Devin Haney. What do all of those guys have in common? They were champions when they put on the prime chain, and now they are not. Logan Paul is a jinx. Bottom line, all three guys lost their titles. All three guys considered invincible and unbeatable lost their titles within 1 to 2 fights of becoming prime athletes. So you think about that and you tell me what that means. I don't know. Maybe it's not correlated, or maybe it is. Now let's watch Logan Paul watch the next victim of his jinx go down.
There's no way.
I'm going to just say, I love Jake Paul, man. I love Jake Paul. I'm rooting for Mike Tyson because I can't root against him. But Jake Paul's good people, dude. He is good people. Him and me would get along. That's what I look like watching fights, dude. Like a lunatic. Now, the last thing I will say about this is the following. Why they are all losing? Not complicated. Bad karma. You sued a fighter that you partnered with, and you're destroying his financial career, and you are continuing on with the lawsuit. Logan Paul's bad karma is making his champions lose. Anyone who puts that prime chain on will lose within 2 fights. That is going to happen. I will tell you that right now, because Logan Paul is a jinx, because he is doing the absolute worst thing you can do in combat sports, which is sue an aging fighter. No offense, Dylan Dennis. I just mean he's not 25. Suing a guy who might be near the end of their career and destroying their financial future, going into this phase of their life where they don't know how they're going to make money. That is the worst karma you could possibly have in combat sports. So go ahead. You know, in Peaky Blinders, you know, there's like that diamond necklace that has a gypsy curse on it, and someone puts it on and they die. That's the prime chain, dude. You put that shit on and your title is going to die. So keep that in mind. So the question has been answered. Was Ryan Garcia actually completely crazy, or was he a fox in disguise genius who was playing mind games with the public and playing mind games with his opponent? And I guess collectively we can all say he definitely was not actually crazy. He was setting up Devin Haney, and he was definitely setting up the public so that we would not expect him to come out and have a performance like that. And here is what I'm going to say about this before I even get into showing you his post-fight speech, showing you some of the fight, so on, so forth, etc. The reason why I always talk about the combat sports community, I really do consider all of us a community. Whether you're a troll that breaks my balls, or you're one of my fans, or you're a fighter, or you're a, coach or whatever. Like, I really do see us as like one big giant fraternity. And I will tell you exactly why. Because all of us now know that Ryan's a genius. And the reason we know that is because after having a manic episode globally recognized as this guy's having a mental breakdown, we have now collectively decided that he's actually a genius because he beat the shit out of some guy. And that makes perfect sense to all of us. Okay, like, I want you to think about this. Seriously, think about it. Like, I'm not actually joking at all. Okay, seriously, think about this. You guys all understand this. All of you. I understand this. You understand this. We are in the same family, because now Ryan's a genius because he beat the shit out of some other guy. I want you to try to imagine trying to explain to someone who has nothing to do with combat sports, okay, that a guy won a fist fight, right? Like, on Friday, this dude is out of his mind. They should probably just cancel this event because he's so crazy and unstable. He goes out, he punches a guy in the face over and over and over, beat him down violently. And as a result of doing so well, administering violence, the next day, everyone is like, the kid's a genius, man. He really is. He's not crazy at all. It's like, it makes perfect sense to me, dude. This moment is the quintessential, like this is exactly what the fight game is. I hope that I'm going to be able to communicate this well in this video because, fights happen. There's not a lot of examples where you can make like a really strong point about the life that is whatever this thing is that we all follow. You're not going to get a better example than this, because this is why I love combat sports so much, because everything, absolutely everything, comes down to the outcome of the event. Nothing else matters. Like nothing else matters. Ryan got on the microphone after the fight and he removed all doubt whatsoever about whether or not this was an act. Okay. There is no question one way or the other. Was this an act or not? It wasn't. Okay. Like he is absolutely exactly the same as he was coming into the fight. And the other thing is, we know for sure that this was not an act and that he really was partying all the time because he missed weight. Okay. Like no one misses weight on purpose. I don't care no one's going to convince me that like this was some genius plan. He's like, so he comes in, misses weight by 3.2 pounds. His team said they thought he was going to miss weight because he was partying constantly and not training. And then he gets on the microphone and he's like, yeah, I drank every single night during training camp. And there's a lot of stuff I'm going to have to talk about in this video that I'm excited to put some thoughts on, because I think everybody's going to be talking about left hooks in their commentary. I'm going to be talking about life. This is the kind of video that I absolutely love doing, because it's like, I'm going to be talking about Ryan Garcia's life now and Devin Haney's life, because what happened in there last night was not about left hooks. It wasn't about, being able to defend flurries of punches. Like that's not what happened last night. I mean, it is, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's about mindset. It's about expectations. It's about the pressure that gets put on guys, especially young guys. Like both Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney both learned incredibly impactful lessons last night. And they both could have catastrophic results for the rest of their lives, no, I think it's only going to be catastrophic for Ryan, actually. For Devin Haney, it may end up being the catalyst that makes him truly great, or it could end up being catastrophic. I think Devin Haney's going to he'll be better as a result of last night, learn a very valuable lesson. Ryan, I think this is the absolute worst thing that could have happened for him last night. Seriously. It sends the worst message to this. Think about this, okay? Ryan Garcia last night admitted that he partied every single night during training camp. Every single night. Partied every single night. Got drunk every single night. You may not know that yet, but I will show you that he said that. He's not lying. And then they showed him in the after party and he's smoking weed, getting drunk, right? So he did everything wrong, right? Literally everything wrong. He's fighting Devin Haney. It's the biggest fight of his life by 100 miles, right? There was a Tank Davis, whatever. But at this point, biggest fight of his life. He doesn't train. He smokes every day, drinks every day, right? He's having a manic breakdown. He literally can't control himself. He's just going online. He thinks that because he's talking about child trafficking, that in some way is dude, what we're saying is we're not saying child trafficking is not a big deal. We're saying bro, focus on boxing just for a month. You know what I mean? Just how about this month? You kind of shelve the child trafficking and you just focus on boxing because you're going to fight Devin Haney. Seems like that should be your priority right now, right? But that doesn't even have anything to do with it. Bottom line is he didn't train and he was getting drunk. And so in that moment where he should have been focused in training, he wasn't, and he won anyway. Okay. So think about what that's going to do to a 25-year-old. Because age is not a number. Okay. I mean, age is a number, but what I mean is like how old a person is in the way that I think about it has a lot more to do with their life than it does years that they've been alive. You know what I mean? Like you learn from adversity. I can tell you this as a person who was 25, who was an idiot and had not faced any real adversity. And, you know, I was just on the cusp of when I was going to start facing some serious adversity. But like 25, I was dumb. Ryan's 100 times dumber than I was at 25. And it's because, like, just think about their life. Okay. Ryan Garcia is a phenom. Phenom athletes have this, not like guys that go pro, phenoms, okay? Guys that everybody has known were going to be great from the time that they were super young. They have the most bizarre life experience ever. You know what I mean? Everybody knows they're going all the way. Like you think, like I used to talk about like with Barry Bonds, okay? It might be, I'm not sure if that's like for the younger guys, that might be kind of a weird example, but he was always so weird with people, dude. Like, he's like Barry. I can't even explain to you guys how good at baseball Barry Bonds was. Like, I hate fucking baseball. It's the most boring shit ever. But I would watch Barry hit because he was so good. Like, he was just so good. But he was such a prick to everybody all the time. And I would just like character study him. I'm like, I guess like if your whole life, everybody is just like, God, you know, hey, would you like me to fondle your balls to the left or to the right, Mr. Bonds? It'll just turn you into a fucking weirdo. And Ryan Garcia is like 25 going on 15, dude. You know what I mean? And so the lesson that he learned last night is he's going to win no matter what. So he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's not, and again, the reason why everybody is heralding him today is because he won a fist fight, okay? Well, guess what? In 12 years, he's not going to be able to win fist fights anymore. Not like this, right? Like that's over. So what this ensures is that there will be a serious crash for this kid at some point. Hopefully he'll like crash and then he'll figure some life out and he'll end up being like a functional adult. But like he's going to go through it. That is an absolute certainty without a doubt. And so will all of these guys who deal with this same issue, but it's masked by the fact that they're so great. John Jones, perfect example. You know what I mean? John Jones is a stud, dude. Like, John Jones is one of the biggest badasses in the history of the world. But, you know, my guess is when he is not an athlete anymore, and I'm talking like, you know, when he's like 47, you know what I mean? He has nothing to focus on. I mean, dude, I'm doing another video about this week about George Masvidal, where he said that as soon as he retired, he gained a bunch of weight, like from not training or he was eating everything and he just got crazy depressed. I understand that. I'm definitely not going to be like, I'm not going to be talking shit about that at all. Because I've told you guys a million times, I went through that experience. That's why I empathize with fighters so much towards the end of their career. And that's why I get so worked up over people stealing money from fighters. Is because I know it's like, dude, especially when they're in their like mid to late 30s. Like when you know they're at least thinking about what am I going to do? If someone takes money from them, this shit is unforgivable because I know what they're going to go through. Like I know it because I found myself in that situation, just empty space where you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to, like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck am I going to do? And it's going to be rough. And if you got that demon inside of you where you drink every night, you know, you've already established that that's kind of how you deal with negative emotions. And then you are definitely going to do that to deal with that feeling. And then you don't have the sport to pull you out of it. You know, like this is a movie that I know that's going to happen for Ryan for sure. And it'll happen for John Jones too. And hopefully they come out of it all right. But anyway, let's talk about the fight. Let's look at some of these reactions. And oh wow, only an 11-minute intro. All right, let's watch some of these reactions though. All right, let's hear it from Ryan himself. You guys, I promised you, this is what he said after the fight.
I didn't really want to say this, but it is the truth. You know, everybody needs to acknowledge, like, yo, I'm tripping. Y'all was tripping, not me. You guys were tripping. I was the one that was actually standing because I'm like, yo, they're hurting their kids. Let's help them. That's part of being a real man. Because I don't give a what people say about it. I walked in the fire and still held it down and still beat them and still drank every day and still eat. And I did everything. Hey, what happened? false reality. Make every single night, went out on the first Monday and the Tuesday and Thursday. What happened? I won.
Okay, like this is so perfect. Okay, this is fight logic. Like this is fight game logic, right? Like he goes, hey, remember all the things I was saying where people were saying I was insane? All the, Bohemian Grove stuff and the babies and me getting held down and great, all that crazy stuff, And then you remember people were trying to take my phone. Remember I posted the thing about I was going to die, all that. And all of you guys said I was tripping. Well, guess what? I beat up some dude last night. So what's up now? Who is crazy now? You guys need to admit you were wrong. You're like, okay. This is like, and this makes sense to people, dude. Like this makes sense. It's like, damn, you're right. He's right, man. He's right. We were the ones who were tripping because he beat up a dude last night. Like everything else. He's like, how are those two things connected? And again, I want to make clear, like I do understand this logic completely, but I also understand that it's the most ludicrous thing ever. How on earth does him winning a fist fight have anything to do with his behavior? And now we're all like, damn, dude, everything he said was true. I mean, I really thought he was crazy. Turns out he's a genius. It's so funny, dude. It is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, Haney Pat. Yo, Bill, where you at, Bill? Yeah, Bill. You looking like Bill Cosby tonight.
Come on, man.
Role model of the century, dude. Role model of the century. Hey, kids, who do you want to be like? They're all, Ryan Garcia is worth $100 million. And you're all, yeah, what else you like about him? He's like, listen, I know that he got drunk every single night during training camp and didn't train very hard. He missed weight by 3.2 pounds. He was online doing crazy stuff all the way up to the fight, and he won anyway. And you know what he did after he won the biggest fight of his life after not training? He got high on camera and taunted his vanquished opponent. That dude is the man. It's the best thing ever, dude. The fight game is the best thing ever. All right, now let's go through a few reactions from people. So Nina Drama said, proved all the haters wrong. Actually surprised. Judges actually gave him the win. Let's go. Dude, I am going to say I was shocked that they actually gave it to him. I was like, I told Gabrielle, because we were, she was watching it with me. I'm like, dude, boxing's so dirty. I bet you this ends up a draw. I bet you this ends up a draw. And then the first judge was a draw. I was like, I told you, dude. I told you. But I think that the community would have gone into a full throttle uproar if they would have not given that to Ryan Garcia, and they would have said it's like the most corrupt sport ever, and that is correct. Let's continue.
So freaking close. Let's go.
Whoa. All right, so Connor, okay. Yep. Connor was excited last night. Yep, Jesus and Sesh, y'all's no fuck all peasants. Stay out of our ear. Well, and Garcia, an amazing fight from two champions, have now fought each other 7 times. That's incredible. Some are just born to fight. Some aren't. You aren't be sure to be a good fighter because I be hungry. Godspeed to both men and teams in this crazy world. Congrats, Ryan Garcia. Tonight is your night. I knew when he fought Tank that this guy was electric. Even in defeat, I went backstage after he'd been stopped to the body last time out. Only his close people were present. I mean, we all saw the video for sure. A win or a loss will never make or break a person to me. When you know, you know. Fighters know. The real know. God knows. Now the real fight happens for the young man, too. Stay strong, kid. Believe in the Lord's guidance and keep it tight like Frog's ass in Versace, lad. Yes. Well in. Jesus is king, so don't go against what he tells you personally and internally. Keep it right, and good luck, little bro. Drink responsibly, proper whiskey forged every night. Dude, listen, I think this fight might have sent the wrong message to Connor, too, dude. Connor just heard that Ryan Garcia was partying every night of fight camp, too. He's all, wait a minute. Maybe I can be drinking every night of fight camp as well. I'm just kidding. Let's continue. That's probably going to take a while. Nate went with a slightly more simple shout out to Ryan Garcia. Fighting narrative is crazy. 5 hours ago. Exactly. Chino Novera fucking nailed this. Fighting narrative is crazy. 5 hours ago, Ryan is crazy. Ryan isn't in shape. Ryan's on drugs. Ryan's a troll. He won. Only see. Wow. What a performance. Fighting is so mental. Don't believe all you see. Was a great fight. At the end, this is all an opinion. Have one. Listen, bottom line, what we proved last night is that Ryan Garcia is a fantastic boxer. Like, that's what we learned. All that other stuff, like, Ryan's been training his entire life. His body is conditioned on a level that people can't even wrap their brain around. He has literally done that from when he was a developing young child. His body has learned that it needs to prepare to fight 12 rounds, okay? Like, it's going to take a long time for a kid like that to be out of shape. Bottom line, dude. Bottom line. Your body is the result of what you tell it that it needs to do, okay? That is just what it is. That's why if a person has spent a very significant portion of their life lifting weights and training their, training, you will always retain a fair amount of muscle, dude. Even if you get out of shape, you're still strong. People remain strong versus someone who's never worked out. Like, you tell your body what it needs to do and your body responds. His entire life, nothing but prepare to fight, move quickly, and be able to do it for a very, 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 very long time. You know what I mean? Now, you know what, actually, that brings me to the moment where I am going to tell you some important facts that I think need to be discussed about the fight itself, okay? So, Devin Haney, people are going to be like, oh, he got exposed, Devin Haney, yada, yada. I mean, I think last night, clearly, Devin Haney didn't deal with big, aggressive flurries of punches very well. And Ryan Garcia got proven. He is a knockout machine. And by the way, just so we're clear, I'll put this 20 minutes into the video. I bet on Ryan Garcia. I made like $600 on this kid. Right before the fight, I was like, dude, I don't know, man. He could do it. Like, he's crazy enough to pull this off. And I bet $125 on him just to, not with no method of victory. It was like plus 450 or something like that. And then I won, dude. But, I should have bet more. But like, again, Ryan Garcia did great, but Devin Haney, the idea that he got exposed, I don't think is accurate because he is young. And listen, he's young and he went into this fight thinking he was fighting a crazy person. Like, there's no way that he was mentally prepared to fight a really great version from Ryan Garcia. If you really think about the psychology, he's only 25 years old. Now, I will tell you guys a secret, okay? Now, I don't claim to be some sports betting guru at all. But there is one thing that I will tell you is very consistent, and nothing's 100%, but maybe like 80% of the time. If you have a college football national championship and you have two teams and one of them is wildly favored, where the entire narrative everywhere on television is that this team is going to absolutely run over these guys, always bet on the other guys, always. In most cases they lose, the favored team, and even in the ones that they do win, they do not win by a large margin. So if you take the points, you won't. I mean, it's the consistency of that is there. There's just no question, and it's not rocket science. Okay, you think the kids are not watching the pregame stuff on television? Every person on earth is telling these kids, okay, they're kids. They're 18 to 23 years old, right? And it's like, you guys are going to just steamroll these guys, man. You're going to run right over them. You guys are too good. These guys cannot compete with you, yada, yada. And that's the mindset. Now, the coach can tell you, don't listen to the TV. Don't listen to the TV, yada, yada. It doesn't matter. You can't help but be impacted by stimulus. And the other side, all they're telling us, they're like, those guys are the best team ever. To have any chance against them whatsoever, you guys are every one of you going to have to play the best game of your entire life. If one guy makes a mistake, you're getting torched for 30 points. You have to be flawless. And this is a team that made it to the national championship. You think they don't have mettle? You think these guys don't have focus? You think that they're not going to be able to pull out incredible performances when they go in knowing it needs to be the fucking game of their life to win? And that's exactly why they always win. Always. Or at the very least, outplay the other team by a mile compared to what everybody expects. And again, in most cases, they win, dude. It doesn't apply to professional because guys are older. But Devin Haney's 25 years old and he's faced nearly zero adversity in his career. You know, he's never lost. He is exactly that. He was exactly that. He goes in there like, I'm going to pick him apart. He's crazy. He missed weight. Like, what are we even doing here? And Ryan Garcia is like, everybody's talking shit. I'm going to go knock him out. It's exactly the same thing. Exactly. Now, I want to finish this up talking about the impact it's going to have on their lives, right? So Ryan Garcia, like I said earlier, has had a lesson given to him that was not good. Okay. You are going to have good outcomes no matter what your behavior is. If you think that's a good thing, you do not understand how this works, dude. That's going to be a very bad thing for his life. Now, is he good enough that he can keep winning and turn this into, spin this into wild success? Of course. I mean, it also just depends on how you measure a person's life. If it's like, hey, this guy is smacked out on whatever. He's depressed. He's like divorced 4 times and whatever, but he's got $100 million in the bank. Yeah, he's going to be fine. He'll be good with that. But he will be all I gauge a person's life on is like, how do they feel? You know what I mean? Like, serious. And that's all anybody should base anyone's, kind of opinion about a person's life on is like, how do they feel? The key, I say this all the time, the mathematical equation to life is so simple, okay? Happiness equals your reality minus your expectations. It's as simple as that. Literally, apply it to anything, okay? If a person expected to be working at McDonald's, this is the best case scenario in life, and they landed a steady job at an elementary school as a janitor that has a pension. They're making $35,000 a year, but they know that money's coming and they know they're going to have a small pension. They are ecstatic about that. They're like, man, I did it, man. I never thought I would get further than McDonald's or being unemployed. Okay. That person's ecstatic. You have a person who expects to be a Wall Street broker, right? They're like, I'm going to be a partner by the time I'm 35. And at age 35, they're working for Goldman Sachs, but they're still an analyst and they're only making $375,000 a year. They're miserable. They feel like a total failure because they expected more and they got less than they expected. Okay. It's like, it applies across the board, right? It applies across the board. And so, I think that a person can be worth $100 million and be absolutely miserable because their relationships are broken down or whatever. And it's like, I know too much about substance abuse to not see what's going to happen as a result of this. There is a 100% certainty that he is going to deal with issues with substance abuse for sure. He had a bad message reinforced today and he's only 25 years old, but that's fine, dude. Honestly, going through that will make you a better person. I absolutely believe that. If you can go through a substance abuse thing and then come out of it on the other side, you will come out a wiser, much better person. Devin Haney, if he deals with this loss well, comes back and fights again. I mean, if I was him, I would just be like, dude, give me, I need a rematch right now. And I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, I hope everybody does well. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Oh, by the way, anybody who waited this long, actual fans of the channel, my dude, Chael, hit up Dana yesterday because of the, the video that I did. The reel that Dana put on his Instagram that had me trashing UFC 300, where I literally defended the card every step of the way, right? I put up a fucking tweet after that was like, everybody needs to apologize to Dana if you trashed UFC 300. So Chael hit up Dana for me and corrected the record, sent him my tweet. And I am eternally grateful to Chael for that, because that being on that reel is like kind of funny, but really aggravates me actually. Because it's like, dude, I was the exact opposite of that. Why would they have used me in that? How am I the media they're dunking on when I was making fun of the media? And what really bothered me about it was the idea of Dana thinking that I was one of those guys, he's like, oh, who's this fucking clown? It's like, oh, that's Jesse on Fire? Nice. So he's one of these stupid hater assholes. I'm like, my intro is getting fucking framed. So thank you, Chael. And apparently Dana thanked me for the support. And so now I know at least Dana knows who I am, and I am in good standing, not in shit standing, which was a challenge. I figured like after that happened, I figured I'm like, this probably is going to end up being a benefit because now I have a reason to like, you know, push my way to be like, hey man, if I would have just been in there like 300's the best, faceless, you know? Yeah, like me caring enough to correct the record on that, I think like all I'm doing is thinking like if I was him, I would be like, all right, I like that. I like that kid. I put this at the end of the video because I figure only people who watch this long are, you know, real fans. If I put that at the beginning of the video, they're going to be all fucking name dropping, fucking flexer, derp, derp, derp. Fuck you guys. Okay. I love jail and I love Dana. So what's up? I love you guys. Bye-bye.